This is Retirement Success with Steve and Elizabeth Holland and me, Todd MJ Schnitt. For over 30 years, Steve and Elizabeth have been protecting your wealth or helping you create the retirement income that you need by creating inflation-adjusted, tax-advantaged, customized plans, because your retirement may be 20 to 30 years of unemployment. The Holland Group Retirement Wealth Advisors has the experience to take you to and through retirement. So let's make the rest of your life the best of your life. It's great to have you along on Retirement Success. Again, I am MJ, Todd Schnitt, along with Steve and Elizabeth Holland. And this is Retirement Success, where we help turn your life savings into a retirement you can actually enjoy. Today, we're going to talk about something that nobody really prepares you for, and that is your first Monday of retirement. No alarm, no commute, no boss, just coffee, and then, bam, one thought hits you. Whoops, where's my next paycheck coming from? Because here's the reality. Your savings might look great on paper, but turning that into a reliable paycheck, that's going to be a whole different game here. And that's what today's show is all about. I'm here with Steve and Elizabeth Holland from the Holland Group Retirement Wealth Advisors. And this, guys, is where things really start to get real.
Yeah, they certainly do. But wait a minute, MJ, no boss in retirement? I mean, first of all, who says you won't have a boss in retirement? I mean, if Elizabeth retires with me, I don't get that luxury, right, Elizabeth?
No, you don't get that luxury. You still have things to do.
You still have things to do.
Yeah.
I still have the honeydews, plenty of honeydews. No, all kidding aside, this is the biggest disconnect that we see. People spend 30, 40 years learning how to save and being a very good saver. We've met a lot of really good savers over the years, but they spend zero time learning how to spend their money properly. And the stats back it up. According to a study that came out last year, nearly 2 out of 3 Americans fear running out of money more than they actually fear death itself. Now, Elizabeth, that's not a money problem. That's a structure problem, right?
Wow, that is a huge fear. I mean, Steve, we hear it all the time, right? I'm sure, MJ, you've probably heard us say it so many times. People are just so concerned about what's going to happen if I run out of money, because we know they're living longer. So this is where planning comes, and it's so important. So here's what's wild. Many of those same people actually have enough money. And see, if we see this, right, we see they have enough money. It's just they don't have a plan to turn it into predictable monthly income. We have clients who say to us, hey guys, I'm still working. And of course, being still working, they have a full financial plan. They have a full estate plan. They have a full tax plan. And you know what? When the time comes for their income, a monthly income, they let us know, hey guys, in about 6 months, I'm looking to retire. I'm looking to have, sustainable income that's tax adjusted. These are the things that we do for our clients. So here's what happens. Our client understand that you have to have a plan. And, you can't just go on the fact that, okay, I'm going to just save a pile of money. And this is what I hear from our audience, really. I have a bunch of money, but I just don't know what to do with it. They live smaller, and they should not. We see it. We know that they have the money, and they're so frustrated. They get so frustrated and so unhappy. All the things in retirement they should be doing, they don't do. And they're literally seeing, I have seen where they have skipped family time, vacation time,
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
helping other families and being charitable at the same time. Because you know what they say? I can't afford it. I don't know how to do this. They're so unsure.
And then I think it's important that we address the income gap that really changes everything. So let's go ahead and really make this real. Walk me through an example.
Okay, so let's take a hypothetical couple. Let's take George. Haven't used that name in a while. George and let's say Gracie.
Wait a sec. I'm not that old, but I think that might have to do with George Burns, right?
George Burns. You know what's really crazy?
And
is
Gracie, right?
Yeah.
George and his wife Gracie. What a lot of people do not know about Elizabeth and I is that prior to moving to Florida, prior to opening up the Holland Group, we had a costume jewelry business in Midtown Manhattan. And one of our very best newsstands was 51st Street and 6th Avenue. We controlled 12 different newsstands at one point.
Wow, that's like right at Rockefeller Plaza area.
Oh my gosh, it was the greatest place to work. It was so cool because we saw so many stars.
Oh, sure.
So many stars day after day after day. I personally sold a pair of earrings to Madonna.
Wow.
I sold a pair of earrings to Paul Stanley, the guitar player for Kiss. He bought one earring, like this long, big feather earring. Tommy Shaw used
from
to stop,
Styx.
Yep, he used to stop by and talk to me every now and then.
Wow.
So it was a really cool place. So for 1 week, for 5 days, George Burns walked by every day, and a lot of people don't know he was definitely bald. He on TV he'd have a little hairpiece,
right?
But he would walk by me, and I said to him every day, I said, "Hey George, good morning," and he waved to me. So the last day he stopped. And he took his cigar out of his mouth. He smiled and he said, "You're doing a good job here. You're doing a good job. Keep it up. Keep it up."
You should have said thank you, God.
Right.
Remember, he was in that hit movie, Oh God, right?
Yes,
yeah.
he was.
He definitely was.
So help me. Do you remember that?
Right.
Remember when he was called into the courtroom?
Yeah, but I think one of his greatest lines was, he talking about his schedule. He said, "I can't die. I'm booked."
That's right.
And he had a bunch of other ones. So, all right, we'll use George and Gracie as our example here.
Okay. All right, Steve, hold on to George and Gracie for just a second. I want to give out the phone number here before it gets too far into the show. If you have any concerns about the first Monday after you retire and where's that next paycheck coming from, you need to call the Hollands. This is what they do. They specialize in building portfolios to bring you investment income every month. And, of course, that dovetails right into the full retirement planning. When you call the Holland Group Retirement Wealth Advisors, you can get their opinion. You can get a second opinion that many opt for because many of our listeners do have a broker or an advisor they're currently working with. But so many people have opted for the second opinion from Steve Holland over the decades. Remember, the Holland Group has been around for over 33 years. Since 1993. That is a long time and a lot of clients. A lot of people like you have been helped and served over these years. When you call the Hollands, this is no cost to you. This is complimentary, no obligation. Call the Hollands with any questions you have, or just listen, just be straightforward and say, "Hey, I'm listening to the radio show. I want to see your proposal for how to bring me the most investment income possible and build me the full retirement plan complimentary." That's just say that. Just call the office at 727-228-6449. And that's why the Hollands are here. This is why we do this radio program, to let you know about the Holland Group Retirement Wealth Advisors, a fiduciary firm here in the Tampa Bay area since 1993. 727-228-6449. That's 727-228-6449. Or we also suggest you go to the website. You can check out the firm a bit. And also, this is easy. You can do a discovery call right from the website. A lot of people love this option. Listen, I still like calling, and having that human contact. And it also shows you can call the Holland Group right here in the Tampa Bay area anytime. They're not some firm that is from 2,000 miles away pretending to have a big local presence. The Holland Group has a big local presence because they live here. They raise their family here. They built this firm here in 1993. So just so you know, it's longevity. The Hollands have been here while many other companies have come and gone over the years. 727-228-6449, or you can go to the website, askthehollands.com. and click on Discovery Call at the very top of the page, and you pick the time and date that's convenient for you. So that's also a great option. AskTheHollands.com, very top of the page, click on Discovery Call, and the Hollands will make it work and speak with you at the date and time that's best, most convenient for you. We'll give you the phone number and the website information again in just a couple of minutes. All right, let's get back to the income gap that can change everything. Steve, you recommended that we discuss this hypothetical couple, George and Gracie. All right, who said retire? I'm going to stay in show business until I'm the only one left.
Yeah, I love that one. That's a great one. Here's another real famous line of his. I love to sing and I love to drink scotch. Most people would rather hear me drink scotch. Or I like this one even more. Yeah. Let's see. Everything that goes up must come down, but there comes a time when not everything that's down can go back up.
Well, there you go.
So he was a funny guy.
Yeah, he was.
So, all right. So here we go. Let's say George and Gracie have monthly expenses of about $6,200. They've got Social Security coming in every month, $3,800. Small pension, $600 a month. All right, so when we add that up, that's $4,400 coming in, but unfortunately, there's $6,200 going out. So that leaves a gap, a monthly gap of $1,800. That's a pretty big gap. So that's the number, Elizabeth, that actually matters. That's the first thing we look at, right?
Right. So there's the danger right there. So they're pulling out exactly $1,800 from the investment during a down market. And what do we say? You're selling asset at a loss.
Right.
And once those shares are gone, guess what, baby? They're gone. So, unless you go back and you buy them, that's how a good retirement quickly turn into a stressful one. So we say to each other, hey, we don't want you selling in a down market. We want you to be able to have your assets grow for you. Look at your investments. See how it's planned. What is that income plan is all about? We see gaps in income plan quite frequently from other firms, and this is where we start building income plan for our clients.
So it's really not about how much you have, it's about how it shows up every single month, and that's a big shift in thinking. So let's now transition and talk about the old school rule that people still lean on and why that 4% rule is, outdated.
MJ, I got to tell you, I still hear that. I still hear people asking when they call in or, they send us a text message, why can't I still have the 4% rule? I hear you guys always saying on the radio, the 4% rule is outdated. You're right. It is outdated. That's why we're saying it, because you have to be cognizant for it. The famous 4% rule has been around since 1990. You believe that? That's when Rachel was born.
Yeah,
1990.
That's right. Yeah.
So some things,
that was a few years ago.
many years ago.
37.
All right.
36, yeah.
So basically, you look at it and say, the economy was different, inflation was different, life was different. So why would we stick with that 4% rule? Here's something that, I always say, withdraw 4% annually, adjust for inflation. Your money lasts about 30 years. But here's the problem. We don't live in that world anymore. Which was 37? We don't live in that world anymore.
Things are very different.
Things are huge, much, much different now. People are living longer. 30 plus years, in retirement, we have said, Steve, you and I have said, your retirement could be 20 to 30 years of unemployment. Well, maybe we need to change that and say maybe 30 to 40 years of employment.
Or 40 to 50.
Right.
Yeah.
Inflation has definitely surged. Market, for sure, has become more volatile, and this is what we have seen. So you have to prepare for it.
Right. And, the 4% rule, we've heard that it came down to at one point down to 2.85, and now it's gone back up to 3.8, possibly 3.9, but it's still under 4%. So let's take $1 million and That's going to be about $3,250 a month. This sounds okay until life happens, and we know what that means. I need a new roof. I've got medical issues. I want to help out the kids, or I want to help out the grandkids. Suddenly, that safe number feels, of course, really tight.
Right. So here's the irony to that. These rigid rules often cause people to underspend. And those that have the money, don't have really the confidence to use it because they're so afraid that something is going to happen.
All you have to do is make contact with Steve and Elizabeth. Two ways to do it. First, you can call the office, 727-228-6449. That's 727-228-6449. Or a way that a lot of people like is just click on Discovery Call on the website, and then you pick the time and date that's good for you. How do you do that? Go to askthehollands.com. Go to the website. Very top of the page, you'll see the Holland Group Retirement Wealth Advisors logo. Right below, you'll see click here for a discovery call. Just click. You pick the time and date that's convenient for you, and boom, the Hollands are available. Again, complimentary, no obligation. Go to askthehollands.com, click on discovery call, or call the office at 727-228-6449. That's 727-228-6449 for the Holland Group Retirement Wealth Advisors. So what happens here? The Hollands will answer all questions. The Hollands will review what you currently are doing. The Hollands will give an analysis. The Hollands will build you a new income plan to show you what they would do differently. The Hollands will build you a full retirement plan. The number of steps, the number of puzzle pieces in putting together a retirement plan is daunting to many people, but not the Hollands, because they've been doing this now for over 33 years with thousands of clients over the years here in the Tampa Bay area. That's why we do the radio show, just to introduce you to the Hollands and what they've done on a daily basis for over 3 decades as a fiduciary firm. Let's move on to the 3-income segment strategy. What is that?
Okay, so we prefer the term income segment strategy as opposed to buckets.
Bucket sounds kind of like,
Buckets just sounds like a lack of sophistication. It sounds like your advisor is a farmer, and he's like, I'll put your money in this bucket. I've got buckets out in the barn.
Hey, Steve,
I'll put some money in here.
Nothing is wrong with being a farmer. We have some really good advice. So let's stop it right there.
Nothing wrong with that at all. But the term buckets, putting your money in buckets, just doesn't sit well with a lot of people. They've told me that.
I know, Steve, because you think about when the kids were young and they had the buckets on the beach, the water and the buckets actually flew away. They actually float away. So we don't want buckets.
So we don't want
segments.
Buckets. We want something a little bit more sophisticated, but we do call them segments. So here's the framework that we use. Very, very simple. Not all money has the same job. Remember that. Not all of your money has the same job. We break it down into 3 different segments. So, Elizabeth, let's talk about the very first segment. What is it, and what does it cover?
Steve, it's so important for people to understand it is different segments, because when we put an income plan together, we know exactly what is going to be the first set of money they need to use and why they need it. So this is why. This is what we call the essentials. It's a must-have. It is for your housing. It is for food. It's for insurance. It is for your health care. This is so important. Now, most of you out there is going to say, hey, I own my own house. Well, guess what? Sometimes, you need to replace that roof.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
still
need to
pay the taxes on the house
every
right?
single year. Try missing paying your taxes. See what happens. But when you say that, my house is fully paid for and I have no problems at all with that, I'm good to go. You still need to eat, and of course you need to have your insurance. Your health care is very important. Now, it's funded by Social Security, pension, predictable income sources. That simply means that you can't just play the guessing game when it comes to actually making sure you have monthly sustainable income. This is what really matters, and you have to have the money to do so. We'll show you how this is done.
Right. Okay. So now that was segment one. All right. So I'm going to mention segment two. This is my favorite. This is your lifestyle money. This is your flexible income money. This is your fun money, right? So this is the money that you use for travel, or one of my favorite activities, Elizabeth, even though you happen to be such an incredible cook. You really are. But we like to dine out every now and then, right?
Yeah, mostly then than now. Right.
Right. We've done a lot of
Yeah.
dining out. We've been on thousands of business dinners over the past 35, 40 years. But some of your fun money is going to be allocated for travel, dining out, family gifts. This comes from investments. It's flexible. The market is up. You're going to spend a little bit more. The market is down. You're going to say, ooh, things are not too good right now. I'll postpone dining out for a little while, or maybe we'll postpone that cruise that we're going to take with the grandkids next year. You have the option to do that.
Okay, so Steve, this is segment 3, the growth engine. This is your future. This is you. This is a long-term money. It's about 7 to 10 plus years out. It's job, beat inflation, because at 3% inflation, your purchasing power gets cut half in about 24 years.
Yeah, you know what's crazy about investing? There's so many people who still sit and invest in bank CDs.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't realize that, number one, you're not making a total return after taxation. You're not doing better than inflation. Inflation is growing faster. We love CDs when it's a good interest rate environment, but we're not in one right now. So CD to us is actually means constantly dropping, and that's problematic. So you really have to invest in a way where you say, look, I've got to do a lot better than 3% per year.
Yeah.
I've got to implement segment number 3, the growth engine you're talking about, Elizabeth, and I've got to not only beat inflation, I want to do like twice as good as inflation, because I'm going to pay taxes on that money when I withdraw it out.
727-228-6449. There's so much information that we bestow upon you every show. Every show is different. We tackle something new to give you an idea of how complex building you a retirement plan and a full investment plan is. To the Hollands, this is all in a day's work. Call the Hollands. Get the plans, complimentary. Let the Hollands look at what you're doing now, what they would do differently. Let the Hollands, with no cost to you, build your plans and show you what can be done. 727-228-6449. That's 727-228-6449. What can be done? You get a customized investment strategy showing you what kind of income can be brought in every month, and you get a full retirement plan which covers insurance, of course, health care planning. Tax planning is essential. Do not let anyone tell you that, we don't integrate tax planning in our investment and our retirement strategies. Tax planning is a major cog in the works. The machine doesn't work unless you have solid tax planning. Call the Hollands, 727-228-6449. That's 727-228-6449, or askthehollands.com. When we get back, we're going to deal with the income gap problem. Building your own pension is next.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Unless you want to pay more in taxes than you have to, you should pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. As you know, President Trump's tax cuts have been extended thanks to the one big beautiful bill. What you may not know is that right now, right this second, is the time to start taking advantage and locking in lower tax rates. Do you know who can help you get it done? Steve and Elizabeth Holland and their team at the Holland Group Retirement Wealth Advisors. Now, all you need to do is call 727-228-4673. That's 727-228-4673. Now, you don't want your hard-earned money going to Uncle Sam to be wasted. It's your money. Keep more of it. Steve, Elizabeth, and the team at the Holland Group can show you how. 727-228-4673. Don't wait. Find out how you could be saving saving in taxes for retirement with the help of Stephen and Elizabeth Holland and their team at the Holland Group Retirement Wealth Advisors. 727-228-4673.
Welcome back to Retirement Success. I am MJ, Todd Schnitt. You know what I just realized? Well, I didn't just realize it, but I just want to point it out again. That the Hollands have been in the Tampa Bay market with the Holland Group Retirement Wealth Advisors since 1993. My radio career began in this market as MJ in 1994.
Right.
So you guys are just a year older. I mean, that's a long time ago,
Yeah.
folks. You know,
It certainly was.
Yeah,
Right.
That's, it just shows how long we've both been here in the Tampa Bay area.
Right.
And you still live here.
Yeah,
Like we do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
727-228-6449 gets you in touch with the Hollands. That's 727-228-6449. Or go to the website. One of the easiest ways to get a hold of the Hollands is go to askthehollands.com. The website, askthehollands.com. Very top of the page, you'll see click here for a discovery call. Just click. You pick the time and the date. Boom. The Hollands will be in touch with you. It doesn't get any easier than that. We'll give you the phone number. We'll give you the website information in just a bit. I left people hanging a few minutes ago by talking about how to solve the income gap problem. And this can be accomplished, Steve, by building your own pension.
Right, absolutely. And for a lot of investors out there, it's a great idea as a supplement to their overall strategy. Listen, I'm telling you, do not listen to these advisors that say, oh, all annuities are terrible. That's just a big fat lie. Now, there are some annuities that are very expensive and have a lot of risk to them. They're called variable annuities. I have called them the twisted evil sister of the mutual fund. But you can build your own personal pension. You can go into an annuity where you get guaranteed lifetime income. If you pass away 10, 15 years into retirement, it'll go to your spouse as well.
Yeah, so Steve, I just want to mention to you and MJ that, I recently heard while I was in a car, an advisor doing a radio show on this station, and they mentioned that, with the annuity, if you die, the money is gone.
Oh my gosh, that hasn't happened since the late 70s, 80s. No, if there's money left in the account, it is refunded back to your beneficiaries. The insurance company does not keep your money. They don't put a big poster of you up and throw a party in the lobby.
My head just exploded.
Yeah.
Where did you hear that, Elizabeth?
I was in the car and I was listening to the radio, and then I heard this advisor saying, and with this annuity, once you die, the money is gone.
Yeah, that
and I was like, what?
That's obviously an advisor that doesn't really know the annuity market at all.
Right.
And that's a shame.
Or woke up from a coma they've been in since 1977. Right?
Really. I mean, give me a break. Okay, so you got to build your own pension. How do you build your own pension? Let's go back to George and Gracie. Remember, Elizabeth, they had an $1,800 a month gap, and that's a pretty serious gap. So option number one, they're going to say, all right, we'll make that gap go away. We're going to pull from our investments. Or option number two, create dependable lifetime income to cover it. This is where building your own pension comes in, and it happens to be, again, an excellent supplement to a lot of people out there listening who need reliable, sustainable income.
Now, Steve, you know that I brag and boast about my father having, a pension and then got a gold watch after he retired at Eastern Oil Company in New Jersey.
Right.
So when my father retired, he was just like, wow, this is great. I got my gold watch. And MJ, I don't know whether it's a Timex or not. But the bottom line is that...
I think it might have been a Casio.
He did get a watch. And, quite honestly, I'm not even sure if it was gold. But it was great because he knew that that pension was going to be every single month he was going to receive a check. Today, you have to create your own pension, people. You have to create your own sustainable income. And that's where certain strategies that, Steve, as you just mentioned, an equity-linked annuity, there's many of them out there, but we know exactly which ones to avoid. that really come into play and actually can give you lifetime income regardless of what the market conditions are.
Right. Remember one thing about retirement. Retirement is not about your net worth. Retirement is about monthly sustainable inflation-adjusted income. So back to George and Gracie. What are we going to do? Where's this $1,800 a month going to come from? Well, first of all, if we do build our own pension, everything changes. And I mean everything. The bills are covered for the rest of their life. Market drops don't affect them anymore because they're not taking income from market investments. Investments can grow instead of being drained, instead of tapping into your stock account, your managed account when it's down 20, 30%. Why would you do that? You're just selling at a low.
Yes.
Makes no sense at all. So this is not just a financial cure. This is an emotional relief because people do not want to worry about their investment. There are so many financial advisors out there who just get it wrong. You know, they get it wrong and they try to tell new people, hey, trust me, trust me, trust me. Don't worry, I'll take care of you. But they don't explain exactly what they will do when we have the next big black swan event, the next pandemic, the next 9/11, the next financial crisis where the market comes down 40, 50%. So this is why so many people come to the Holland Group.
I think it's important also to just define black swan event for those that don't know. It's one of these like life-altering events. It could be financial or, listen, COVID. Yeah. COVID back in 2020 was a black swan event.
Definitely.
The crash of the market, the mortgage-backed security nightmare back in 07, 08.
Oh, yeah.
And the subsequent turmoil in the stock market in 08, 09. That was a black swan event. 9/11, a black swan event. So it can take on different appearances, but that is the definition of a black swan event. Also, Steve, I just got a message from George. George wants to make sure that he has enough money for his cigar budget.
Right. You know, towards the end of his life, he said, I need something to do. That's why I smoke 10 to 12 cigars a day.
10 to 12.
Right.
Was it that many?
That's what he said,
Wow.
yeah. Maybe that's why his voice was kind of a bit raspy.
Well,
And didn't he live to like 99 or something?
No, actually, Betty White, remember Betty White died at age 99. And
Right.
she went into People magazine and they did a whole, they did a whole camera shot of her and everything.
yeah.
And they were gonna put her on the cover. Happy birthday, age 100.
Yeah.
And the poor thing, she passed away.
She did.
At age 99.
You know, and people are saying that was the curse of like People magazine, that they did this whole pre-100th birthday profile,
right.
And then she didn't make it to 100. I just looked up George Burns, and George
100,
did.
right?
Yeah, he did hit 100.
Right.
He was born January 20th of 1896.
Oh my gosh.
And George Burns passed away March 9th of 1996. So he made it 100 years and almost 3 months.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100 years and 3 months. Yeah, pretty amazing. Pretty amazing, that's for sure. So, again, when we talk about sustainable income, when we talk about how people invest, it's so important to say, you know what, here's the fact of the matter. We have to build something where clients don't worry because, MJ, when we have these black swan events, everyone says the same thing. Wow, where did that come from? You know, nobody saw that coming. Well, that's how they work, right? They simply come out of nowhere.
Elizabeth, I have a very, very important follow-up question. I'll get to that in a second. I want to give out the phone number for those that are listening that would like to have this conversation with the Hollands and say, hey, can you take a look at what I'm currently doing investment-wise, retirement planning-wise, and what would you change? What would you do differently? This is why the Hollands are here, the reason why we do this radio show, to introduce you to the Holland Group Retirement Wealth Advisors. 727-228-6449. You are invited to call the Hollands now at 727-228-6449. When you call that number, you'll get the office, and then that gets the ball rolling, and then they'll set up a time to have some initial meetings and consultations with the Hollands. The Hollands want to build you a full retirement plan. They want to build you a full investment strategy to show you essentially how to build this pension to bring you income every single month. Complimentary. There is no obligation. There's no cost to you. Just call and ask. 727-228-6449. That's 727-228-6449. Or go to the website, askthehollands.com. That's askthehollands.com. Click on the very link that says click here for a discovery call at the very top of the page, and you pick the time and date that's convenient for you to connect with Steve and Elizabeth Holland. Easy as that. If you missed the information, I'll give you the phone number, website info again in just a bit. So we've been discussing, Elizabeth, and here's my follow-up. We have been discussing that people these days, for the most part, now still in some of the public sectors, it's very rare to have an actual pension. There are just very few that exist today. So our listeners need to make sure they're building their own pension. But, Elizabeth, there are honest trade-offs.
Yes, they are. So Steve just mentioned about, having sustainable income, and mentioned the fact that it's going to be there for you, and this really it doesn't affect if the market drops or not, because your income is going to be sustainable.
That's right.
Here's the trade-off. You're going to have less liquidity, potential fees, less flexibility on that portion, because obviously when we build a plan, we're not going to throw all your money all in an annuity. We know some companies do that. That's not the Holland Group. That's not our philosophy, how we do investments. So the income depends on the insurance company's strength.
Right.
But
Yeah. Very good point. Yep.
yeah. But for people who want certainty, it's a game changer. I'm going to bring your mom back into this, Steve, because basically your mom is 97 years old, and
She's almost 97 and a half.
wow, yeah. So she has that sustainable income. Your mom has a good sense. She doesn't have any kind of dementia going on, but she knows when that money hits her bank account.
That's right. That's right. She looks forward to it. And she's like, it's there. Okay, good.
Yes.
And it just makes her comfortable.
So try telling someone your income is not going to be sustainable. See how they're going to panic.
Right. Try tell somebody, you know what? Due to the volatility in the market, instead of that $1,200 check that you get every month, well, we're going to have to cut it down to like $980, $975. No. Unacceptable. That means one thing. Your advisor did a lousy job. Elizabeth, we've been saying this for a long, long time, and a lot of people who come here and work with us, they say to us, you guys break things down in such a simple form. It's a pleasure to really understand what you do, because I've had a broker, I've had an advisor that talks over me. I don't know what the hell they're talking about. And it's really frustrating because I don't know what they're saying. We've been talking about the 3 fundamentals of investing. There are only 3. Every single investment that you invest in, they have 2 out of 3 different fundamentals. Number 1, you should have a very, very high degree of liquidity. Number 2, you should have good performance, whether it's for monthly income and or growth, right? And number 3, you should have a certain degree of safety. Now, do you need a lot of safety in your portfolio when you're 35? No, you don't. If it's your retirement money, right, you're going to revisit that in 30 more years. But you need a lot of safety when you're 65, when you're 70, when you're 75 years old, because you need to sleep well at night.
So I want to mention the fact that sleeping well at night. Do you sleep well at night, MJ?
Sometimes. It depends on
if his Jack Russells are barking.
Well, or if my wife is barking at me also. It's just, no, I'm kidding.
Ooh, tonight might be one of those nights.
Yeah. I met Michelle. She's a very lovely lady.
Yes,
and
she
of course,
is.
she's
She
super
is.
intelligent.
Yeah.
I know. I like that about ladies. I mean, she's an attorney, which I love. So I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah. So were you going to tell me something, MJ?
Well, no, I was just want to follow up on what Steve was saying, and working with so many people over the years, it must give you guys satisfaction when you're able to shift a client from anxiety and watching the market daily and every spike and every drop that drives people crazy. It must make you feel good when you see that transition. You see a little light go off in people's head, or they seem more relaxed. kind of the peace of mind once their essential income has been guaranteed with the right plan.
Right, absolutely. It just it gives you confidence. It gives you confidence in your plan, and then you don't worry about the market going up and down a little bit.
MJ, I will never forget this. There was a client that came in, and she had about $2 million in her account. Her portfolio was very, very healthy for someone who is 81 years old and single. When Steve sat with her and showed her the plan, this lady, this client, started crying. She said, all my life I have deprived myself of living my life.
Right.
Which was so sad. It was so sad. And she was saying that I always thought I could never touch this money. I always thought if I spend more than what I'm supposed to, I'm going to die broke.
And she said, I was told in these accounts I can only take out a minimum distribution. And we're like, no, that's your RMD. You can take, you have to take that, but you can take more. And you're correct.
Yes,
yeah.
Someone, the advisor she had is really scared about, don't touch this money. This is for you to grow. This is for you to grow. You can't take out because this money, because they'll be, the accounts are going to go down. And she was invested in the market.
Yeah.
At that age, she was invested in the market.
Did she then go on like a spender bender and buy a little miniature giraffe?
No, she didn't. This poor lady, actually, she lived for about 3 more years and then passed, and then all that money went to, it went to the state because she didn't have anybody else in her family. So this was money that was given to somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a sad story, but this is this is what we face, and this is what's so sad when advisors out there say to clients who is not really savvy on the investment, you can't touch this money. You got to keep it the way it is. You could only take it out like maybe once a year, a certain amount. And let me do the calculation for you. The same advisor was also doing her taxes.
This is complimentary, no obligation, no cost to you. This is an easy phone call or a click on the website to get the ball rolling for the Hollands to take a look at what you have right now and let the Hollands build you complimentary plans, investment strategy, and full retirement planning on paper to show you what they would do differently. Again, this is complimentary. There's no cost to you. There is no obligation. Just call and ask. Simple as that. 727-228-6449. That's 727-228-6449. Or go to the website, askthehollands.com. That's askthehollands.com. Very top of the page, right below the logo, you'll see a goldish banner. And you'll see the words, click here for a discovery call. Just click there, and you pick the time and date that's convenient for you. Simple as that. Let's close this program out with some therapy. How about we, again, push the fact that the Hollands can show you how to go from anxiety to confidence. I think this is an important point to push here.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely do, because that's what it's about. It's not about investing. It's not about watching the market. It's not about trusting your broker, your advisor, that they're going to beat the market or they're going to tie the market. It's not about that. It's about living your life. Elizabeth, how many times do you say every single week, let the rest of your life be the best of your life? That's our philosophy.
Yes.
And we want to do that by giving investors confidence once again. So here's the big takeaway. Your savings, this is not your income. The savings is the raw material. What matters is where income comes from, when it starts, and how long it's going to last. And of course, that means it should last till the very last day that you're able to fog up a mirror.
Yes, so here's it. You need a strong plan, and that strong plan would include income for essentials, a flexible income for lifestyle, growth for inflation, and the ability to adapt, not follow outdated rules blindly,
Right.
like the 4% rule.
Yeah, very well said.
And you're sitting here thinking, I don't actually know what my retirement paycheck looks like. Listen, that's your sign. That's your sign to reach out to Steve and Elizabeth Holland at the Holland Group Retirement Wealth Advisors. There is a difference when you work with them. And who you're working with absolutely, positively matters. They're not just some pop-up shop, a firm headquartered in another state with a small little cubicle here in the Tampa Bay area. No, the Hollands have been rooted in this community for over 33 years, since 1993, amid all the businesses that have come and gone in this space. You know, I make a mention that, I've been in radio, MJ, Schnitt, I've been in radio since early 1994, January of 94. The number of radio advertisers that I've seen come and go in the financial space is unbelievable. It is well over 24, maybe even 30 firms that I've heard commercials for. I've heard some of these long-form programs for, and the number of firms that came in and out like fly-by-night operations, it's unbelievable.
Right, exactly. So what they did was when things didn't work out for them, they packed their bags and they went home.
And guess who's still here? Steve and Elizabeth Holland, the Holland Group Retirement Wealth Advisors. 727-228-6449. That's 727-228-6449 gets you right through to the Hollands, or go to the website, askthehollands.com. All the contact information is at askthehollands.com, or just at the very top of the page, click on Discovery Call, and you pick the time and date that's convenient for you. That's askthehollands.com. Don't forget, the television version of Retirement Success is on Channel 10, Sunday mornings at 11:30 on CBS in Tampa Bay, and that is Channel 10. If you have some questions that you'd like answered, it's just an email away. You can go to askthehollands.com or text the word retire to 474747 and ask your question. And Steve, Elizabeth, and Alicia will be happy to answer your questions.
Tampa Bay, this is Alicia Holland, DiBernardi here, advisor with the Holland Group. We are answering your question of the day, and I have Steve Holland with me.
Yes. Hello, Tampa Bay. You know, Alicia, we answer a lot of questions, and I asked you during the break, hey, don't we have any questions that are in relation to taxes?
Yeah.
And so you've got one, right?
I do.
Okay. I hope I know the answer.
I'm pretty confident that you do.
Okay, good.
All right. So Marcia from Bel Air Bluffs. Marcia wrote in to say, what do you think about doing a Roth conversion in small chunks over time? Is it worth the taxes now for tax-free later?
So what would you say, Alicia? Because I am on fire with an answer to this one, and I think you know why.
Well, Steve, I would say that Marcia's really thinking about this the right way.
Right.
And we have something that is a little proprietary that we developed here at the Holland Group, and that is the Kill the Beast strategy.
KTB. That's right.
What this is, should I be giving this away over the radio?
Yeah, there's a bunch of advisors out there listening. I really don't care because, if we can help them and they turn around and help their clients, it just makes it a better world.
Yes, that's true. That's good. Pay it forward. So I kind of think about this. I think about my mother-in-law, for example, who, when she retired, she took out her pension in a lump sum. Mm-hmm. And she got horrible advice. And she was absolutely clobbered with a massive tax bill.
Wow.
And she always says if she could go back and do things differently, she would obviously not take out that whole distribution and add it to her taxable income.
Right.
And she wishes that there was a more strategic way to really take those withdrawals systematically, or to do a Roth conversion. And it's exactly what Marcia's saying, to do small chunks over time. And that's where this KTB strategy comes from.
Right.
It's about saying that we don't want to add to taking a ton of withdrawals that bump you up to a higher tax bracket. It's about making sure that you are killing that beast,
That's right.
so to speak. So really attacking it, but systematically in increments.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, because really what we do is we do a hypothetical tax return. We calculate in the Roth conversion, and we say, all right, now we've got another strategy that we call FERS, and FER is flying under the radar of the next tax bracket.
Yes.
So if you're, if you're in the tax bracket you want to stay in, well, we're going to show you what your limits are. And you may be, for the year in 2025, you may be able to do a conversion of only like $6,230. But for the other people listening, it may be a different bracket, and they may say, you know what? I'm fine with taking out more, and it may be $25,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. The neat thing about Roth conversions is this, and here's what we do in our Kill the Beast strategy, is we fast forward 10, 15 years down the road, and we say, here's the tax bill you would have paid. Here's the tax bill your wife would have continued to pay if you predeceased her. Here's the tax bill that your kids paid. And now we add all that up. Now, let's go back and kill the beast, and we're going to do that within, say, an 8 to 12-year time period. Here's the tax bill. And it's night and day.
Yeah.
So the tax bill the family will pay if you kill the beast is typically nothing. And the tax bill that you'll pay during that time period may be $150,000 versus doing it the traditional way of just waiting till age 73 and take RMD only till the day you die.
Yep.
It may be $600,000-$700,000. It's a huge difference.
Massive.
Huge difference. And I encourage everyone listening to this message, find out exactly what your situation looks like, and we will show you how we like to disinherit the IRS.
That's right. So great question, Marcia. And thank you, Tampa Bay. Keep those questions coming in.
Hi, it's Glenn Beck. Let's face it, these are uncertain times. We're bombarded with news of political chaos, economic instability, and a world that feels more unpredictable than ever. I talk to so many people who are wondering, what does all this mean for my retirement? Here's the truth. You can't afford to leave your financial future to chance. That's why you should talk to Steve and Elizabeth Holland and their team at the Holland Group, Retirement Wealth Advisors. I've known Steve and Elizabeth for many years. They are people you can trust. I trust them, and they understand the challenges we're facing and know how to help you protect what you've worked so hard to build. They help people just like you create a retirement plan that's built to weather the storm. No cookie-cutter solutions, just honest help from a team that truly cares about your future. Don't let the chaos rob you of your retirement. Call Steve and Elizabeth Holland and their team at the Holland Group Retirement Wealth Advisors now. 727-228-4674. That's 727-228-4674. Take control of your financial future today with the Holland Group.